Hi everyone, I'm outside because it is such a beautiful day here, and I apologize for any background noise that's distracting, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about balancing hormones and what that actually means. It's a term that I work with a lot because hormones are such a fundamental and essential part of our health, but I think it's one of those terms that is thrown around really often and it sounds really fancy, and at the same time you might have no idea what it means. When we talk about balancing hormones, it doesn't necessarily always mean balancing the ratio of one hormone to another. Other times it means supporting the pathway that a hormone acts in, or it can mean helping a hormone to function more efficiently. And we see this in something like diabetes. So diabetes is full-blown insulin resistance, and insulin is a hormone. And when we have something like diabetes, it doesn't just one day smack you across the face. You have diabetes. Like any hormone imbalance, it's something that develops over time. And a lot of times when I work with someone, I'm helping them to bring back into balance the efficiency of insulin. So you can be having issues with insulin and not have full-blown diabetes, but you're on that spectrum where we really want to focus on insulin and help it become more efficient in its job. Insulin is what brings sugar into the cell when it's circulating in your blood after you've had a meal, and if your cell has issue responding to insulin, that's when insulin resistance develops, and this is not a good thing because we don't want sugar to be building up in the blood. The important thing to remember is that what you eat matters a whole lot with something like insulin resistance. And of course we're talking about type 2 diabetes here, which is largely a lifestyle disease. So the way that you are eating and how you are living is going to be impacting the ability of insulin to act in your body. The next set of hormones that I love to talk about are the female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. These two have a ratio that is really important to find. So when we are out of balance, which is when estrogen is higher than progesterone, that's known as estrogen dominance, and that can cause a whole class of symptoms that many women experience, but just kind of throw off as being normal, or it's just you're having a bad time. It's not really a great feeling, but you don't really think there's much you can do about it. So things like having irregular periods, painful periods, heavy bleeding, bad cramps, headaches, mood swings, all of that fun stuff. Those are not normal, and if you have a period that is really impacting the way you live or how you feel, there is something you can do about it, and a lot of times it comes right back to estrogen and its ratio to progesterone, which we want to be higher. The last set of hormones that is most commonly off balance are the thyroid hormones. Your thyroid is located right in your neck, and it is the metabolic center of the body. So it will be controlling how fast your hair grows, how fast your nails grow, what your metabolism is like, how warm or cold you are, everything to do with growth and metabolism. So when we see issues with metabolism, which can be a whole range of things, including inability to lose weight or hair falling out or feeling really cold when everyone else is warm, these are all signs that the thyroid is out of balance, which hints to us that the thyroid hormones are out of balance. The thyroid is really interesting because it loops in so many different systems. It has kind of a two-way communication with your gut. It affects your gut function, and your gut function affects your thyroid. It's also affected by your adrenals, so your fight or flight system. It's like if your body's in a war, it's going to hold off on production of things that don't matter as much. It's going to lock down on the essentials. And your thyroid can be affected by your nutrient status. When we look at thyroid hormone, we're converting between different types of thyroid hormone, like between T3, T4, reverse T3. If we are lacking the nutrients necessary for that conversion, that can go wrong. Frequently you can have autoimmune thyroid, where your body is unfortunately attacking your thyroid gland and it's affecting your ability to produce thyroid hormone. So the main idea here is there are many different hormones in your body, and for each one there is a system it's associated with. And because our body is one glorious entity, when you have underfunctioning or overfunctioning in one system, it will affect others. So what you need to know and to become more aware of is simply how you're feeling, because these are all signs and signals of what's going on hormonally in your body. So for women, the menstrual cycle is a really important one to pay attention to, but for anyone, it can be how you're feeling, what your energy level is like, how are your nails growing, how's your hair, are you feeling cold when everyone else is warm? You know, just these really simple, fundamental feelings about health that sometimes we just pass off as you're having an off day, or you just are like that and you were born that way. A lot of times that's not really the case. It can be a thyroid issue, and it's something that you can do something about. You have control over it, and what you eat, how you live does make a difference. So I hope this was helpful in understanding what we're talking about when we say hormone imbalance. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much for listening.